This is absolutely ridiculous, as a latest report hints that the Phoenix Suns could be interested in a veteran point guard that makes no sense for the roster construction now, but even in the future of this team being on this roster. That's no knock on the player himself, but Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and this front office should avoid trading or acquiring this player to bring in for their roster next season, as it absolutely makes zero sense for the way that they want to go. We'll be diving in and looking at all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support in the comment section. I want to say thank you guys for all the ones that gave me the support for feeling sick over these last couple of days. It truly did mean the world to see those comments down below and for you guys to really understand what it is to, be a content creator and to do this. So once again, I do appreciate all the kind words that you guys have given and all the support you guys have given on the channel down below. And if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this Suns, make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on everything revolving around this team. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in and let's get into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And we got a little bit of a confusing topic to kind of discuss today, as some reports have led us to believe that this could be potentially happening with the Phoenix Suns, but I truly don't believe that it will, and I think that it would be an absolute disaster for the Phoenix Suns if this were to come to fruition. And as we see, apparently the Phoenix Suns are the favorites to be the Russell Westbrook's next team. And huh? Why the Phoenix Suns? Why are they the favorites to be the leader for Russell Westbrook's next team? Well, apparently to Boveda official, the Phoenix Suns at plus 300 odds are scheduled to be the next team for Russell Westbrook. And this, doesn't really make much sense either, as we also see from Basketball Forever that the Suns have the highest odds to acquire Russell Westbrook at a plus 300 from Bet USA official. Westbrook has a player option this offseason and could look for a new home. And we saw that, looking at Westbrook's contract, you can see he makes $3 million this year. Next year is a player option at $3 million. So if he were to accept that player option, he'd get that $3 million for the Denver Nuggets, would be a part of that roster. Could be traded to the Phoenix Suns or any other team that he'd want to be traded for. But for the Suns, which we'll get into a little bit, that's going to be a little bit difficult for the Suns to make a move with them not having that many contracts under a roster making around $3 million and having to, sign a free agent back, I guess, to wait a couple of days to trade him would not make much sense. And doing a sign-in trade, I guess, for Russell Westbrook wouldn't really help out for the Phoenix Suns either. So that's the case. But also for the fact that Russell Westbrook hasn't been that great this season for the Denver Nuggets. We saw him, obviously, a couple nights ago, 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, be able to kind of look back. But overall, as a whole, Westbrook hasn't been that flashy point guard, that guy that we all know him from a couple of seasons ago. He's obviously a backup point guard now and a little bit more of a subsidized role for a Phoenix Suns team. And once again, for a Phoenix Suns team that kind of has too many guards already, this just does not make any sense at all on why the team would even consider pursuing a player like Westbrook to be added to this team to help, depending on what direction they want to go to. I ultimately don't think it helps. Also, added the fact that him and Kevin Durant don't have the best relationship, and if you do keep Kevin Durant on this roster and you do kind of look to compete, adding Russell Westbrook to that engine, I don't think would add any benefactors. So ultimately, I think this is something that the Suns should avoid at all costs, regardless. If they have Durant on the roster, if they have none of these stars on the roster, if they go full rebuild, I truly think that it would not help out with Russell Westbrook on this team due to the fact that the Suns already have an abundance of guards already on this roster. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, but we can kind of get into that here next, as why it really makes no sense for this Phoenix Suns team to really pursue a guy like Russell Westbrook. Like I mentioned, obviously the uh, relationship with Kevin Durant isn't the greatest, so that would not make sense for the Phoenix Suns. But as you see, obviously, you know, when looking at this Phoenix Suns roster, you can see that there are a lot of guards. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Vasilij Micic, Tyus Jones, Damian Lee, Monte Morris, Jalen Bridges, Colin Gillespie, and Tyus Jones. That is an abundance of guards in Phoenix. And yes, some of these guys are free agents, right? Those three guys at the bottom, and Bridges, Gillespie, and Ty are all two-way contracts. But I would expect them to be brought back on two ways, and Gillespie to be converted into a standardized deal for his impactful play so far with the Suns in this, last week and a half without Bradley Beal, and with the Suns seeing some progress with him in that starting lineup. So I'd expect a guy like Colin Gillespie to stay, maybe a guy like Monte Morris, but Tyus Jones, Damian Lee, and Monte Morris are also free agents. Those guys could be gone. That also could be brought back or replaced with another type of guard. Vasilij Micic is on a team contract. He's also expected to be waived and to pursue a deal over in the Euro League, but he could potentially be a guy that I guess could be traded if the Suns do keep his contract or do not waive him, but that doesn't make sense. And then you look at the other three guards. Obviously, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen. If you add a player like Russell Westbrook into that nucleus, it doesn't really add anything or help out anything in any regard for the Phoenix Suns. Once again, Westbrook, I guess, can be a rebounding guard for this team, something that they truly do lack a little bit of a defensive piece, someone who can kind of, bring the ball up and be that secondary ball handler for this unit. But if you already have Gillespie, if you look to potentially bring back Tyus Jones, you already have Devin Booker, you already have Bradley Beal, there is no necessary need for a backup guard because we've already seen with this roster and with this rotation, we know that in the offseason that either one of Beal, Kevin Durant, or potentially both could be gone from this Phoenix Suns team to get them below that second apron. But one of those high impact scorers will be gone. So the Suns could utilize, some more scoring in a secondary unit, I guess, at that point. But with this team and how it's currently constructed, we obviously see that Bradley Beal, was already playing on the bench. Grayson Allen has been playing with the bench unit. Tyus Jones has been playing with the bench unit. Those kind of guards have already been infiltrating there and playing with that unit already. And who knows if the Suns do trade Kevin Durant, keep Bradley Beal, keep Devin Booker, still keep this push. I still expect him to bring back Colin Gillespie, and I expect him to be a backup guard in that role, a backup point guard. So once again, why would you have Gillespie and Russell Westbrook on the team at the same time? Yes, I guess they could coincide as we have seen Colin Gillespie being able to work off ball, but truly I do believe that Gillespie has earned himself an impactful role and has suited himself that role in Phoenix to kind of guarantee himself a spot to compete and fight for minutes. And I don't think that that should be hindered by adding a player like Russell Westbrook to this team, who at the age of 38 is not going to be the ideal player that the Phoenix Suns do need on this roster, as they still will need, some valuable wings, some still help in the big man group to help out with those guys in Ryan Dunn and Oso Gordaro to get that development, to really understand what it is to take over and to take that leap for this Suns team. But like I mentioned, I don't think a Russell Westbrook signing is in the ideas, is in the cards. I just think that this is a little bit blown out of proportion by a betting sports book, obviously trying to get some money here with saying, hey, the Phoenix Suns are a hot team. They look like they need to make changes. Why don't you go and put some money on them getting Russell Westbrook because he can help them and save them because he just had a 30-point game? No, that's not what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I don't believe that Russell Westbrook would be an ideal fit for this Suns team. I don't think he would even consider wanting to come to Phoenix, and I don't think that he would even look to be traded, right? We look at, his contract. He'd have to, accept a player contract and then buy out for a trade. We already saw Westbrook getting a little bit of a debacle trying to find himself to the Nuggets this off season. So in this free agency, so I don't see Westbrook trying to move off once again. I think he's kind of staying pat in Denver for this season, and I don't see him, declining his player option or potentially to get a bigger deal to go to a different place or accepting his player option and then being like, trade me, trade me. I don't see that happening. I see him sticking in Denver. I don't see the Suns pursuing a Westbrook trade. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys ultimately think. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.